Isha, just a heads up, we're live on both platforms.
Thank you, Sneha. I think people are streaming in and it's just 5. I guess we'll give people a little time to sort of come in. That's a good message, Mahima. Warm welcome to all of you. Good to see some of our mentors also joining in. Warm welcome to Rail Padamsi. Just a quick message, please ensure your Zoom ID displays your full name. I can still see some folks who've got their phone names, as their Zoom identifiers. There are going to be a lot of exciting quizzes, questions, opportunity to win Amazon swag. So please do put in your actual names, your full names in your Zoom ID. Thank you.
Actually, we can request all our participants to just put in the chat box from where they are and what are their names. Maybe they would like to just show that. And of course, the 3 things that are put on your display screen, make sure that you take care of that.
That's Anchit from New Delhi getting started off. Hi, Aparna.
Oh, there's Varanasi, Faridabad, Mumbai. People have come in from various places. IIT Kanpur, I can see. Yeah. Bangalore. Delhi, Pune. That's wonderful. Nice to see everybody excited. I think we can get started. Yeah. So I think we should. Welcome everybody to yet another session from Aspire for Her. Any guesses why we are here today? Any guesses, please put it in the chat box. I'd like to see if any guesses, what do you think is going on today at Aspire for Her? I know most of you have come for a lot of our sessions, and I'm sure you must be having some idea. Empowerment, okay, AWS partnership, launch SheDares. You're bang on right. Aspire for Her couldn't be more excited to welcome you to the SheDares. Good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. I am Ruchita and I'm one of your co-hosts for the evening. At SheDares, we open to you the world of technology by bringing you a large number of tech courses, certifications, opportunities, mentoring sessions, and more. It is absolutely free of cost. And what best, you could be a student from STEM, non-STEM, working woman, returning to work, and a supporter. There is place for everybody here. But first things first. I will firstly request the audience to keep yourselves on mute so that you can hear our speakers. Please ensure to have your name and surname written on the Zoom. We have some exciting raffles, quiz. So if you want to take home some prizes, make sure you enter the answers with your email ID in the chat box. Throughout the session, if you have any questions that come to your mind, please put them in the chat box too. Our team will be collecting all the questions and will put it for the speakers towards the end. And of course, as usual, stay tuned till the end because there are some important announcements and you just don't want to miss them. It is my honor to introduce my co-host for today, Vaishali Sharma from AWS. Vaishali did her BTech in computer engineering exactly 30 years ago in 1991. She is passionate about enablement and has multiple innings in her work life. The first one in customer-facing roles in multinational organizations like HP, Oracle, and Microsoft. Her second innings as an entrepreneur, running a learning organization for 15 years, facilitate change and growth for individuals and organizations. And now in AWS, she helps customers accelerate their digital transformation primarily by enabling and empowering their people. Welcome, Vaishali, and over to you. You are on mute, Vaishali. Someone has to unmute her.
Yes, I've just sent the request. Yes.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Ruchita. Thanks, Madhura, for having it. What do you think? So let's break some ice with a first question on what's your ice cream flavor, and if you use very quickly on the chat window and fastest finger first, right? We want to see who gets it fast. And as Ruchita has told you, as you answer, please make sure your email IDs are with the answers. So I can see that my voice is breaking.
Your voice is breaking a bit, but I think people have got the question, Vaishali. I think you were asking about their ice cream flavor and with their email ID, and they're putting it in. We can see fast, many questions coming in. Vaishali, can you see that?
Yeah, just make sure that your email ID comes with the answer.
I think Vaishali is facing a little bit of a tech challenge. So Vaishali, can you hear us?
I think, is Mahima there? I think Mahima, yeah.
Ruchita, I feel Vaishali is just facing some technical challenges. Murphy Law to the rescue. And hi, folks. I am Mahima. I'm also a part of the AWS team. And till Vaishali figures out her network problems, let me get right to it. First of all, a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining us on a Friday evening. It's an incredible honor to be here with you. I can see a lot of interesting ice cream flavors. Let's move on to the next one. Make sure you have your email address right there. If you were to choose one superpower, which one would you choose? Let's get some superpower, ladies and men. I see a lot of us want to be invisible. Wow. Please make sure that you put on your camera. If you're the one looking for invisibility, invisibility is not a superpower. My personal superpower would be to read other people's minds. I think if you had the ability to just understand what the person is saying without even speaking, I think a lot of women already do. I'm not that blessed in that regard, but that's my superpower. Last one for the beginning, and we'll get on to our main agenda. The theme for today is daring, right? So I want you to create an acronym for the word dare. Qualities starting with each of these letters. Dare. D will stand for daring. You can choose A-R-E. What does R stand for, right? So let's have that on the chat. The best one will get an amazing prize. I actually have the goodie here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. So with the filter, it becomes a little bit difficult, but here's what you're going to be getting. So let me repeat the question. You have to give the full form of daring. Irene, yes, you got that right. Some more interesting responses. Tabassum, I saw an incredible one from you. So just try and type it all in one go along with your email address so that we can get that right and share the prizes with you post the event. The question is DARE. So D-A-R-E. D stands for daring. What does A-R-E stand for you? And please have your email address there so that we can address this and get your prizes up to you. Our team will get back in touch with you. Amazing. I see some interesting responses. Thank you so much, everyone, for this. Now that we've got our fingertips up to some exercise and our minds are enlightened with these amazing, amazing words, assertive, reliable, enormous, enthusiast, and the list goes on. And that's what each of us here stands for. Right? Like, it's just not any words. That's what each of us stand for. I have the extreme privilege to now invite Sarah Liu. Sarah, if you're there, can you please join us on video?
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. So good to see you. And we have, as you can see, the bright, young, and vibrant faces of India all over. Some of us are there on video also. So thank you so much for joining us on video. Folks, Sarah is an icon in herself, right? She's the founder and managing director of the Dream Collective, our core collaborators for the SheDares programs. She's joining us live from Australia, and even though it is super late for her, she wanted to really connect with you, all of you, and I'm really, really great that she can make it for us. So thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us. She's an international thought leader, speaker, trainer, and facilitator on next generation leadership, diversity, and inclusion, along with now the most phenomenal piece of work on the future of work, what future of work looks like. She's represented Australia in the G20 since 2017. She's also served as an APAC advisor to the Japanese Prime Minister, and the list goes on and on about her. So Sarah, without taking more time away from you, I would hand over the forum to you, and keen to hear all about SheDares and how it came into being.
Great. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. And you're absolutely right. I'm joining from Sydney, Australia. And even though it's close to 11 p.m. at night, I am actually feeling really energetic because I'm so excited to be actually launching SheDares across India today. So huge thanks to AWS, but huge thanks to Aspire for Her as well. Thank you for your great partnership, collaboration, and leadership in this space to bring this together and to make great impact across India. So as per the introduction, thank you very much, very kind introduction. My name is Sarah Liu. I'm the founder and the managing director of the Dream Collective. The Dream Collective, really, we're a company predominantly operating across the APAC region, but we really exist with the mission to help technology companies attract and advance more women into the technology space. So with that mission, early this year, we came across and came together with AWS because we both shared a passion of seeing more women in the technology industry. And what both of us recognized was that even though people have been talking about, even though they're having a lot of conversations, the reality is that the global gender gap has been widening and not decreasing. Why is that? one of the biggest contributing factor to increase gender gap across the globe was women's under participation in the technology field. Because we live in a world which is increasingly fueled and enabled by digital capabilities, the fact that women continue to be underrepresented in technology-related fields and roles means that women are at risk of being displaced and women are at risk of being written out of the future if we don't do something now and if we don't do something very quickly. So AWS and us really came together with a sense of mission, but also with a sense of urgency. And we wanted to actually create something that was meaningful and that was relevant, and that can actually help women pivot and transition into a career in technology. And we realized how important it is to actually always understand the people in the cohort that we're working with. So before we actually created SheDares, we conducted market research to really understand and determine what was holding women back from pursuing a career in technology. And we found 6 main reasons. Number 1, women were telling us that, I don't know where to start, right? It actually feels very ambiguous, a lot of uncertainty. I don't actually know where to start. The second thing we heard was that I'm intrigued, I'm curious, but I feel the learning curve is too steep. Is that too late for me to pivot into technology? The third thing we heard was that the job requirements seemed unappealing. Working in tech felt it's boring, felt it's repetitive, and felt it lacked collaboration and creativity. The fourth thing we heard was that the environment seemed non-inclusive, unsupportive, very male-dominated, and just did not have the right level of flexibility. The fifth thing we heard was that I didn't see myself. I don't see any female role models that are visible enough to paint a picture of what a career in the technology industry could look like. The term male-dominated was actually used more than about 42% of women in our research and focus group unprompted. And the last thing was that women were telling us that I've tried, but I can't break in. So I don't actually have career pathways that I can transition into. They're intrigued, they've attempted, but have had no luck. And it's with that insight, we came together with AWS and co-created SheDares. And SheDares was this online, completely free learning experiences that I'm excited to see all of you go through, where we address exactly all of these points. We firstly, through this program, demystify what working in technology industry looks like. We demystify some of the common misperceptions about the roles that actually exist in the technology industry. And we open minds and we align women's existing skill sets to the skill sets that's required to operate really well in the technology industry. And I'm really proud to share that within 6.5 months of launching, that we have had over 14,000 participants around the world enrolled into the program and more than 60 plus collaborating organizations. And I think, yes, it really, really warrants a round of applause. And I know that in the India context, sometimes 14,000 doesn't feel like a lot because you've got 1.3 billion people the last time I checked it. But in Australia, we only have 25 million. So you can understand that 14,000 participants is absolutely phenomenal and groundbreaking. And we're seeing that number continue to rise week after week. And that's why I'm so excited to be here to in collaboration with AWS and also Aspire for Her to actually launch this into India. We've had great success in Australia, followed by New Zealand, recently in Singapore, and now India. And I'm excited to see the kind of impact it will achieve. Because sometimes when we think about the 14,000, it's easy for us to forget what that represents. But each of those numbers actually represents a story and represents a career that's actually being transformed. And one of my favorite, success stories from a SheDares participant was actually Irina. And she tells us that this whole journey started with a fail. She failed to show up for an important career event due to technical issues. And that made her realize how important it is to actually familiarize herself with tools of the future. Starting with that thought and starting with a failure, she actually enrolled herself into SheDares. And after a few hours, she just kept on going. She completed that very quickly, and then actually ended up enrolling herself further into, She Builds program, and to further qualify herself with cloud architect capability. And we hear time and time again with women telling us that I literally cannot believe that I'm uttering the word solution architect out of my mouth, because even 2 weeks ago, I had no idea what it is. And today I'm sitting here, I'm considering that and transitioning into a career in technology. So with that, I want to sort of wrap up, my introduction, because I'm excited to actually hear from all the other speakers as well. But I just wanted to share what an incredible point in time it is. In the history of women in technology, we are playing a role. And I'm so excited to see how this program can continue to break grounds, transform careers in India, because, that is the mission and that's the passion behind the SheDares program. I'm looking forward to see the career that we can transform through this program. And thank you so much again to the AWS team and the Aspire for Her team for bringing this to life in the India market. And I'm just really excited. And I know I've said that a number of times, but I really am, so excited for all of you, 100 of you who are online today to be part of this journey. And I really encourage you to promote this across all of your social platforms, word of mouth, to encourage women into the technology industry, so that not only we will participate in tomorrow's technology world, that will be the creator of those technologies. Thank you very much.
So much, Sarah, for your kind and heartwarming words. These were really brilliant. Like, my personal takeaways from these were two: never stop dreaming, first, and second, like, a tech career is for everyone. The Irina story was just so inspiring. And personally, for me, I feel each of us on this call know one or two of these folks who the story will relate to further. So like you said, spread the message on social. I think it's really important to pay it forward and share the success that some of our counterparts in the other parts of the countries have seen, to extend that to India. And I'm fairly confident, having worked in the India market, this will be a huge success in the India market. This is designed in such a beautiful fashion that it makes sense for a lot of us who probably don't know how to get started, where to get started, but get those foundations in there. I do see Vaishali also back online.
Yes, I'm back. I hope you can hear me now. And
Loud and clear.
it is a quick change of tech, right? You always have backups. Never go anywhere without a backup, right? And that's what community is for you, right? It's your backup. And lovely to hear you, Sarah, feeling inspired. And I could hear you for a long, long time. I mean, I think everything coming out of your mouth is something that we can reflect on and work towards doing something in our lives as well. And what really struck with me is sometimes we don't know where to begin. And that's really key. And we look around and say, like, who could I ask? Who can I, go and share this with? And I think that's where, for me, community becomes so important, that it holds you, it embraces you, and it guides you through the whole process of growth. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. And back to my community here, all of you friends out there, I missed the first couple of questions, but I'm sure Mahima took good care of you. Now I'm going to ask you two technical questions. Don't worry, they're not so technical, but just to bring in the flavor that we are here to talk about tech. The first question is, and remember, you have to be pretty fast on the answers, because if you're not, we might think you're taking your help from somewhere, right? The first question is, who do you think, who is recognized as the first computer programmer? Who is recognized as the first computer programmer in the world? Very quickly, the answer as well as your email ID. Can you tell us? And we're getting some answers there. Very quick, fantastic. So we're talking to some geniuses over here. Fantastic. I think you guys have already nailed it perfectly. So let's move on very quickly to the second one. The answer is, of course, Ada Lovelace, and she is widely recognized as the first computer programmer. And she dared, right? She went ahead and did something which no one else was doing. No one else was even thinking of, let alone doing it. So she was there. The second question, which is from our heartland, who is Debjani Ghosh? Do you know her? Have you heard about her? Does this name ring a bell? Very quickly. Okay, I can see some. Give me her the correct title which she has. What's her title? Yes, she is associated with NASSCOM, but is she a director? Is she a manager? What is she over there? Okay, now I'm getting some serious answers. Yes. She is the president of NASSCOM. Fantastic. And all of you, those of you who got both the answers right, look out for something in your mail coming your way from the three partners here. That's AWS, Aspire for Her, and the Dream Collective. We are moving on quickly because we want to get in as much as possible for you in this 1 hour that we have with you. So I'm going to hand it back to Mahima. She's just to tell you a little bit about her. I'm sure she didn't tell you how awesome of a person she is. When I joined AWS last year, she and I happened to join on the same day. I was joining corporate back after 20 years, having worked for myself, and how nice that is. When I joined back in AWS, I actually needed someone who could help me navigate the corporate world. And there was Mahima helping me go through the channels of AWS and the corporate world. So thank you, Mahima, for that. And back to you, my partner in daring.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, so to say, again. And folks, incredible honor. I represent, of course, the training and certification marketing team here, and incredibly proud to be able to partner with the amazing collaborators that we have here, right? Without further ado, I would actually want to invite our key guests. You see one right here, we have Madhura. I would also want Chandra Balani and Amit Mehta to please switch on their video and join us on camera.
Hey, hi.
Hi, Amit. Hi, Chandra. Good to see you. For everybody else, let me try and do the honor of introducing these stellar male allies and gentlemen. It's been my privilege and honor to work with them. Probably Madhura is a mentor for some of you. For me, these folks are my mentors. So I'll start with Amit first. Amit Mehta heads the training and certification business for AWS in India. And he's really found his ikigai in this role, right? With a deep passion for helping people, helping in skilling India, combining it with the over 25 years of experience that he has across marquee technology brands, right? So thank you so much for being here, Amit. I'll talk about Chandra a little bit. Chandra leads the global enterprise business for AWS in India, and he's a vocal voice for diversity and inclusion in the tech industry. He happens to lead the inclusion, diversity, and equity initiatives for us here in India also, and has some incredible inspirational stories of change that he's seen throughout his career. So welcome, Chandra.
Thanks, Mahima.
I also have Madhura, who is somebody that most of you would be familiar with, but I'll try and do justice to introducing her also. She's the founder and CEO for Aspire for Her. They are our lead collaborators along with the Dream Collective team in this journey for SheDares, right? And she's a powerhouse in herself. I can't do justice to her. She's all over the internet. So just Google her up if you need some inspiration, right? So Madhura, I will actually want to start with you. You've had an incredible journey, right? From banking to HR to moving to your own startup. Like, what made you come up with this idea for Aspire for Her? And can you just elaborate a little bit more about this partnership, this collaboration with us on SheDares?
Thank you so much, Mahima. I hope I'm audible. It's an incredible pleasure and privilege to be here with the three of you on this platform and launching SheDares for India together with the best partners that we could ever hope to ever get. A little bit about me and a little bit about Aspire for Her. But before that, I'd really like to extend a warm welcome to all our members, mentors, supporters of Aspire for Her who are here today, all our friends from AWS and from TDC who have taken the time out to being here today with us on this very special, very momentous occasion. I have been a banker for the past 25 years, but I've had the most incredible professional journey in the last 20 months, the most rewarding and the most fulfilling that I have ever seen in my career. I started Aspire for Her on Women's Day last year. And why did I do something like this? Well, it started off with some boring, dreary statistics, but they told me a story. I was looking at gender data emanating from India, and I saw that in the Global Gender Gap Index, women's participation in the economy, we were sixth. India was sixth from the bottom in a list of 156 countries. And I was seeing fantastic women all around me. So I was wondering what is really happening here. And then I realized that things were not always this bad. In fact, for the past 15 years, there's been a steady decline in women's participation in the workforce in India. Not 1 year or 2 years, but for the past 15 years. And that sense of shock and disappointment led me to think someone needs to do something about this problem. And I thought that someone should be me. Today, we are in the mood to be daring. So this was me daring to think a little differently. We set up Aspire for Her to motivate women to enter and stay in the workforce. Our vision is to add more than 1 million women to the workforce by 2025 by using the power of communities and networks. And SheDares is actually the best way for us to reach out to all of you, to tell you what the power of a community can truly be. Well, in SheDares, you'll find mentors and role models. You'll find incredible learning opportunities. You will find fantastic career previews. You will find a vibrant peer community. And of course, last but not the least, opportunities for employment, entrepreneurship, education. That's what the community will do to you. It will help you learn and grow. Find your path in the way to tech. Why is it so important at this point in time? It's because we know that due to the huge tech skills gap that India will face, we have to get women ready for the tech workforce. And it's our privilege to partner with one of the most forward-looking companies on the planet to actually set this path out for you. By launching SheDares, they're not only trying to demystify careers in tech, but we're also making a statement that tech is open, whether you're an engineering student or not, whether you studied arts or commerce, whether you're a housewife taking a break from work, or whether you're engaged in another career, but you just want to dip your toes into the large ocean of the tech industry, SheDares is there for you. So we are really very, very excited to get this started. And we want to really hear more about what is this tech skills gap that everyone keeps talking about. What is this tech skills gap in India? And for that, we have one of the foremost experts in this space, Amit Mehta, to talk a little more to you about that. But before that, I'd like to leave you with some thoughts and a small thank you note. A thank you note to our new family from AWS and TDC, Chandra Balani, Amit Mehta, Mahima Garg, Vaishali Sharma, Sarah Liu, Angelica Hunt, and Haley Eagle. Thank you so much. Thank you for making us part of this historical moment. And all of us are creating history right here, right now. I'll end with my favorite poem, Come to the Edge. We might fall. Come to the edge. It's too high. Come to the edge. And they came, and they pushed, and they flew. May you all fly with SheDares. And over to you, Amit.
Thank you, Madhura. Tough act to follow. So a pleasure to be here with all of you. I'm just going to start with a personal story, and then I'm going to rally around the Indians in you and the Shaktis in you. So the personal story. The personal story really emanates from an awakening that I had led by my master and my mentor. And that awakening has to do with the fact that the whole universe is actually best when it is in balance. And what that means is the balance of the yin and yang, the balance of the Shiva and Shakti. So for those of you who have Indian mythology as their rootings and who believe in the rich Vedic scriptures, that balance of Shiva and Shakti is what I strive to embrace first in the personal life. And I'm ensuring and daring to believe that we want to get that balance back. There was a time eons ago when this was a matriarchal society, and now it's time that matriarchal society and the patriarchal society are in divine balance. So that's the personal side of the story. That's my commitment, and that's where I look forward to. I look up to really Thakurji or Ramakrishna Paramahansa and the mother, or Aurobindo and the mother as my guiding deities. So that's the personal side of me. Okay, the professional side. The professional side of me, and I'll quickly request for some slides for you to kind of really look at this data hard. As India, let me give you a sense. As India is going to be $1 trillion digital economy by 2025. And we are fast on that road. If you have been following the news, they want to be $5 trillion in GDP. And up until 2 years back, we were well on the way to do that. Again, we are back on growth. But if at all anything has taught all of us, our grandparents, our children, our parents, is that we all need to be digitally skilled, because last 24 months, we couldn't have navigated the world if we were not digitally skilled. Right now, what's the status? So this is a research that we did at AWS with a research partner, Alpha Beta. Right now, only 12% of India's workforce is digitally skilled. Number of workers who are required to be digitally skilled by 2025 is going to go by a factor of 9x. Now, look at that glaring gap. And what's going to happen is that even in the current set of workers who are digitally skilled, they tend to use about 7 odd skills that they apply to their current roles. Now, what are these skills? One is obviously digital literacy, which is the new currency. But then you have other skills that are required. And I'm going to share with you what are the top 5 skills that are required by 2025 by India. Now, believe me, India is at a point that we can really, start taking the front and center stage in the global economy. Now, what are the top 5 skills? So the first skill is cloud architecture and design. For those of you who are uninitiated, who don't know, cloud is just a way of consuming IT resources on a pay-per-use basis. So today, when you work with Amazon or you order something, you're actually interacting with the cloud. When you do a Paytm interaction, you're doing with the cloud. When you're ordering Swiggy food, you're dealing with the cloud, right? So how to configure resources within that, IT resources within that, such that it meets the business objective of giving you a timely service, that is all cloud architecture design. So that's growing at about 34% year on CAGR till 2025. The next skill is software operations support. And this is really have to do with how do you keep the software running and humming in good shape to be able to run the cloud and IT infrastructure. The third, web software game application development. And if you see lot of focus of late on things like media, things like gaming, things like VFX, lot of focus area. And if you see, that's an industry that's really caught up. Then you have large scale data modeling, 28%, growing at a CAGR of 28%, which essentially means that we generate so much data as consumers for businesses that there is a, when you, for instance, interact with us, let's say on Amazon today, how do you think you get personalized recommendations of what should you consider or what you can also consider? The power of that is within the data that we actually have, and we mine that data. AI, someone said AI. Yes, Asma, AI is the way. So these are some of the technologies that are there. Can I get back to the slides, please? So, and the final one is really cybersecurity, because when you're opening up so many different digital interfaces, you need to ensure that your data is secure, and so that those are kind of the 5 top skills that are required by 2025. Now, what's going to happen is that an average worker, regardless of gender, will need to gain about 7 new digital skills, and I think that's a critical piece. So if you really want to, first my appeal to you as individuals and people who want to work, you need to rethink the way that you want to skill yourself, and if you're planning to have longevity in your careers, it's an imperative that you look at this in a big way. And cloud is right up there in terms of, and that's the space that Amazon plays in a big way, and we just wanted to ensure that we help India bridge the cloud skills gap. Therefore, next slide, please. And the third one then is related to. So we said, okay, what does the current workforce look like in the tech space? So right now, we have about 4.6 million people working in the tech space in India, and this has the BPO sector. So those are the people deployed. So right now, about 1.6 million women are working in the tech sector. And when they're working in the tech sector, that does not mean they're necessarily software coders or they're actually doing R&D. There are people like, for instance, Mahima, who's actually doing marketing, or Vaishali, for instance, who's teaching. So it's not necessarily to do with hardcore tech. It's about the different facets and functions within tech itself. So 1.6 million. Share of women are at about 36%. And that's where we are here today. Given where India needs to be, given what our aspirations are collectively as Indians, I think there's plenty of headroom for us to grow. Right now, good part is, compared to let's say the India Inc., where the percentage of women contribution participation is 23.4, the tech sector is at 36%. So we are healthy, but I'm saying we can go at a faster clip, given that the digital journey is going to be, the pandemic has accelerated it, and it's only going to accelerate further. And the good part is their support. So something like 62% of the large medium firms have implemented diversity programs. And that's where I'm going to invite my colleague and my friend, Chandra, who in many levels also resonates with my thoughts. So Chandra, I'm going to really bring you in here and let you talk about what are the inclusion and diversity schemes that AWS, for instance, has implemented, and how AWS looks at inclusion and diversity.
Sure. Thanks, Amit. First of all, it's a real pleasure to be part of SheDares launch. And thanks to Aspire for Her and Dream Collective for this partnership. Really appreciate all of us coming together, all my team from the AWS side. So thank you for all the efforts put in, and really appreciate all the women power coming on this call for the launch. So really excited. Before I get to AWS, I just want to give a quick mental model on Amazon, right? So at Amazon, we strive to be Earth's most customer-obsessed company. And we recently added a leadership principle that we want to be Earth's best employer, right? So if you see our canvas is Earth, right? We believe entire world is our customer or a prospective customer. And we look to solve problems for them, help them grab opportunities. To be able to do so, we need to have our employee as a representation of our customers, which is quite diverse, right, at Earth. So we strive to create our employee base as diverse as the Earth that we represent, and that's like a truly North Star that we aim for. And we believe having a diverse organization helps us get diverse perspectives in order to innovate for our customers, in order to understand our customers and help them become successful, right? Coming to AWS in India, we again strive to be best place to work for women. And we've created a flywheel. If you can put the slide up, I would love to show the flywheel that we've created. So, we basically at Amazon, we think in terms of flywheel because that can keep going and keep accelerating, right? So it starts with the objective right in the center. And to start with, it has to start with hiring women talent, right? And at Amazon, at AWS, we hire a lot through referrals. And we ran a referral campaign for women back in early 2020, and we got only 7 leads. And this came in as a problem from our talent acquisition team to our leadership team. And I raised my hand to be part of this journey. That's how my personal journey got started. And we created a gamified mechanism. We got all the leadership team together. We got all the segment leaders together. We created like a 24-hour, Recruit June last year campaign. And with a lot of intention, we gave a simple goal of 1 referral from everyone, right? From 7, which was previous one, we ended up getting 401 referrals just as part of that, and we hired a lot of them through that exercise. So what it made me realize is it's all about doing things intentionally, right? And so we started working on improving our diversity. We've made a lot of progress around that. Having a diverse organization, we need to also develop it. So we need to build an inclusive work environment, and multiple initiatives and interventions on that. We partnered with Dr. Neeru Kumar from Ask Insights, who's a Padma Shri award winner. We ran gender intelligence inclusion trainings. Lot of trainings for our hiring managers, all of employees. We ran a 22-day inclusion challenge. So we basically are looking to create a workplace which is inclusive, and then focusing on development of women, right? We have our stalwart leader who ran a series called Knowledge, series, right? Where we bring in internal as well as external women leaders to talk about various aspects which we want our women employees to improve upon. And it does not stop there. We want to also improve representation in senior roles, right? So not only hiring externally, but also promoting and developing individual contributors to become managers, leaders, right? And then goes on to bringing in visibility in the industry, where we ran again multiple programs. We had a Deep Racer event that we do, and we did it for women alone. We had 8,000 women participating in the Deep Racer series. It was fabulous, right? So we created gender neutral job descriptions, which we believe helps us attracting more women talent. And when it comes to attracting more women talent, we also are running programs like this, where we increase our base also, right? It's not going after women who are tech already, but creating programs like this, wherein we can bring in and build the skills gap, right, for aspiring women to come in tech, right? And that's where some of these initiatives come into place. While it's an early start, but I'm glad to share that AWS in India, we won the best workplaces for women in 2021 from Economic Times. It's still day one, still an early start. So coming on SheDares, back on track. Amit, do you want to share what does the journey look like for some of the women participants What does next couple of months or a year look like as part of this journey?
Absolutely, Chandra. And if you can just bring up the slide. So I think first and foremost, opportunity for you, for those who really want to know, we are creating this ecosystem to help you in that entire adoption journey. So what that essentially means is, first, the starting point is the community. So Sarah talked about 14,000 members, and obviously with India coming in, the whole power of India comes in. I'm assuming at some level we'll talk thousands and thousands. So the community is there to ask questions or seek support. So depending on where you are in your life, I think there are different people who can support you. The second is in terms of your ability to come in and ask questions and learn. So you can potentially learn from a variety of webinars that we use. Learn from that. There's a free webinars that you can come, and there are multiple opportunities to engage with us on that. And then it goes all the way to running jobs. So just a mental model around this. Start interacting with the community, enroll into all the links that we send on the registration side as a follow-up. On then start attending our webinars and free webinar series. There's a lot of content that is there available on the site that you should go through. There is a seminar that is coming up on 17th December. I think that's a good seminar. It gets you started. It's called Cloud Practitioner Essentials. That's a good place to get started. And then, we can also give you things like credit. So for those of you who start getting, the learning imbibed and you want to start thinking on the platform, there's an opportunity to give you some credits. And then finally, there are jobs that you can, if you can come to the next slide. So there are jobs. So just from our standpoint, we have partnered with leading companies, and please stay tuned for more. We'll be making an announcement in January. So as you complete your different certifications, you can join. You have an opportunity to be connected to interview opportunities, internship opportunities. So if you're a fresher who's done nothing, for instance, then you can complete our Cloud Practitioner Essentials certification, and you can actually apply for internship roles. So each of our customers in India, for instance, they have diverse kind of roles. They have early careers role, and their mid-career roles, and their senior roles. So TCS, Emphasis, Capgemini, to name a few. And then obviously there are job opportunities with AWS. So the starting point is the interaction with the community, picking up and going through the different learning paths, and then really connecting you all the way to jobs at the end of, let's say, the first half of next year and the end of next year. Next slide, please. And to get you started, we are putting our money where our mouth is. We have what we call the entry-level certification exam, which we call the Cloud Practitioner. Now, for those of you who already have a tech orientation, who have been in tech, I think this is a great place to start. You can start, as I said, attend the 17th December webinar. Then also look at, we'll be announcing a date for an exam readiness workshop. You should look at appearing for an exam at a Pearson VUE center near you, and we'll be giving you details as to how to do the registration. Apply that in first week of Jan, or let's say in latest by second week of Jan. We have a partner, TrainoQuate, who's sponsoring a few certification vouchers. Now these are $108 worth of vouchers, per voucher, that we are extending a few of them to few people who are willing to make the commitment of committing themselves to learn in the next couple of weeks and appear for a certification and submit us that certificate by 15th January. So really look forward to. So we'll follow it up with an email which will tell you to how to do this. Okay. So now I think that with that perspective in mind, the fact that you start your journey and you can do different kind of roles, I'll hand it back to Mahima.
Thank you so much, Amit, Chandra, and Madhura, for sharing your perspectives, walking us through the journey of how the program is structured. I'll talk about my quick takeaways, right? Like for me, the most important part was the future generation, the 7 new digital skills or new skills that we all need to have. Yes, of course, internet is there, cloud is there, web development, software development. One other soft skill that I would add is being adaptive. Learning new things, daring to do new things is the primary change that all of us need to drive. So thank you for bringing that perspective. That's my biggest learning. The second, the whole diversity flywheel. There are very few companies in the world that really think about hiring in a scalable fashion, and I feel we're one of those companies who are really focusing on initiatives like SheDares to create this platform of change and drive the change straight from the grassroots level and bring about change in India at such a massive level. So truly inspired by that. With this, I would actually want to hand over to Vishali. Vishali, can we have you back on the screen? Actually, before we move to Vishali, one last question actually. Chandra,
Yes.
you spoke about all the good things that we're trying to do with the diversity flywheel, with our latest leadership principles, right? Folks who are unaware, in Amazon, we each of us as employees strive to live by the leadership principles. Look up the Amazon leadership principles. Very recently, we've added the leadership principles that Chandra talked about. Chandra, with that perspective, right? And you have been a long tenured Amazonian. With these new initiatives launched, what do you think is the impact that we can expect? I would love to hear your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, sure. We have learn and be curious as one of our leadership principle as well. So I would love to see, a lot of women out here, be part of this community, learn and go through all these trainings, get themselves certified, and in turn, find jobs as well. And that's what we are striving to do. Just a quick personal story. So I joined AWS in 2013. Pretty much the first year that we started in India. Very few people around, and I was the first employee in Hyderabad. And as I started meeting customers, customers would ask me technical questions much beyond my understanding. And we didn't have a solution architect in Hyderabad back then. I would wait for weeks for solution architects to come from other locations. So I took a dare, right? I said, okay, let me learn through it. Let me get myself solution architect associate certified. We didn't have so many trainings and resources available back then. I read through all the FAQs on our website, reading about services. We didn't have practitioner certification back then, cloud practitioner. So I had to go straight away to solution architect associate. So when you were asking this question, Mahima, which superpower would you like to have? I was thinking, women already have the superpower. Why do you need another superpower, right? If I have to think of a superpower, being a woman can be a superpower. So if I can do it, so can all of you, right? So, go with that mental model. You can do it and go for it.
Thank you so much for this, Chandra. Amit, would you like to add something?
No, absolutely. I think, I take you back to the roots and the Vedic scriptures. You are the Shakti, you are the creative force. Without you, the universe can't be in place. So I think, and the bigger picture is, 39% is where you are right now. There's potential to easily take that to 50%, even if you were to take a divine balance of 50-50. So please, it's 11 points. And when you spread 11 points over 1.6 million women in tech, and you can just imagine the opportunity that comes and represents itself. So we are there to guide you and we'll be there to tell you what steps to take along the way. And there's a community to help you. So go for it. Thank you.
Thanks, Amit. Thanks, Mahima, and thanks, Chandra and Madhura. So lovely to hear all your thoughts and assimilate them. We're really feeling excited. I think the way I see the chat box is like so many questions and so many things coming up, and how do I do this and how do I do that? But really, where as Sarah said, sometimes the most difficult thing is like, what's the next step for me? Everyone wants to know, what should I do next? So Madhura, for you, what should all the people that who are here today, what should be their next step?
Well, I think congratulations to all of you, because you've already taken the first step to being a part of SheDares. And what are you going to do after this? So we will hand over to Ruchita for some quick instructions. I know we're going a little over time, but just give us a few more minutes so that we can tell you about what exactly is going to happen over the next few days, weeks, and of course, there's a lot of excitement for the year ahead. So Ruchita, over to you.
Thank you so much. And this has been very insightful. Thank you, Chandra, Amit, Mahima, Vaishali, and of course, Madhura. The last couple of days have gone in excitement when we thought of building SheDares. And of course, with our collaborators over here, TDC also. And we've been waiting to come all the way here. And today it's been so inspirational hearing each one of your thoughts. When Madhura started her mission of Aspire for Her because she didn't see women, with AWS starting the mission only because you do not see women in tech. And of course, there are so many jobs, there's so much. So welcome everyone to the community. I also took a daring step and I decided to make a comeback, and that's where was my first daring step. And with this community, I'm sure most of you can take your next daring steps. So welcome to the community of SheDares. There is a lot in store, as all our leaders have mentioned. There are going to be cohort courses, there are interesting webinars, and a lot more. But if you can, and we'll send you an email also, but the next step is how to enroll in SheDares. So where do we go? We will circulate a link in the chat box. You can also see the QR code. This is where you click first, and I will take you through the process so that all of you can get started immediately. This is the link. Once you click on the link, this is going to take you to the page of SheDares. And this is exactly how it's going to look, as you can see, to the Dream Collective. When you go to the Dream Collective, you will find the button for Enroll Now. You can start clicking on that. You have to enter there are about 5 fields which you enter. As you can see, my colleague Isha is doing it so that we can show you how you can get started. You can see the others. You can see this from which background you are. If you do not have any, then please click on other services. There is no age barrier over here. You could be a college student. You might not have any work experience. That's okay. And you can just put 1 to 3 as the years of experience. Make sure you click I'm a member of Aspire for Her community when you get started. And there it is. You then press Get Started. You will finally come to the page, as you can see. And okay, you can create an account. So we are just doing it for the ease of all, so that you all land up at the right place and you can get started right from today, because there has been so much information that's been flowing here. So these are going to be some steps, and yes, it's important that you have to take these first steps, otherwise you are not going to be able to navigate into the community.
Folks, it's a simple sign-up process. We're going slow to make sure you guys get this right. Once you're within the community, it will auto log you in. So it's a one-time process.
Yes. Okay, the password. There are some strict firewalls you have to take
care about
of.
Our security, so
yes,
talk about having a strong password.
Okay, anyways, so I'll share the next step. Isha, do you have that page open? That's okay. Because the next page is where you would like to see, yes, there we are. We've managed to go in. And this is where you are going to land. And make sure you go on the left and click on Pathways. When you click on pathways, you are going to find the pathway to India. And that is where you have found your place. Go to join us. You click on join us. And there we are, voila. So if you can see my colleague Madhavi or me on this, you're at the right place. And there it is. We start with SheDares India. So this is the way you log in. We'll definitely send you a mail with all the steps so that you are just going to be in. We have a lot of programs which are there next coming. So if Isha can show, yes, this is where you're going to find the next 2 sessions. I want to build skills where you can go and register for the 2 programs. One is on the cloud certification, the cloud practitioner essentials, and you can see register. The second is on big data. These are live training sessions. The timings are given. And yes, if you finish these sessions, we have a lot more where you can see all the other sessions which are by AWS. You'll find at least about 500 more courses which you can go and take yourself through self-paced learning courses. After this, we have also tried to put in another 2 sessions for you. These are some sessions which we feel everybody in the community wants to know. One of them is definitely, what do we see when we hire? We have our AFH mentors who have put in some real thoughts into what they see when they hire people. The second is about building your resume and skills on that. That is one of the things you also need besides getting trained into technicals and getting certifications. The next is our announcement on the 5th of Jan, which is going to be a session. Yeah, so we've done all this. We've done the skill building. We've got you into the transition into the role, and the bonus zone we are yet to announce, but already Amit has made the announcement of all our partners, and very soon you will find our partners also being put up over there. This is going to be in our next steps. We have a session coming up on the 5th, which is SheDares to break the glass ceiling. Keep staying tuned. You will have a lot more. Just get started, and we are there in all our various sessions to navigate you, take you through, and make you reach the end goal, which is getting a job after you are trained and certified. And here's to learning and growing together. So cheers, we get started. Over to you, Vaishali.
Thank you so much. And I know there are some questions coming in, like how do we do this? We've got all your emails. We'll collate at that and we'll send you email back with the details of how you get into the SheDares program. As we are going to say bye, let me just ask you a couple more questions because we have some more goodies to give away. And if you can stay 1 or 2 minutes more, that'll be real fun. Before you go away, tell me what's your song that gets you on the dance floor? Which song gets you dancing, moving and grooving? And I wish we could have had some music and we could have danced here, because that's always an awesome thing to do at the end of any celebration. And this is indeed a celebration today as we are here launching the SheDares program. So yeah, Bhangra, yeah, why not? I love that as well. And maybe in time we'll all get together and we should have that session. That's really nice. What we are going to also do is ensure that we answer all your questions in an FAQ kind of document, and FAQs are very close to Amazon. And sometime we'll come back and talk to you and tell you why they are so close to Amazon and the way we work. That's a session up at some point in time. Last question, which is your most used emoji? Which emoji do you use the most? And if possible, could you please use it now? Can I have your most used emoji on the chat? Thank you. Yes, I can see that. Lovely. Those emojis are coming in, feeling super excited. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to just hand over to Amit to say the last few final words. But as we start this journey, I am going to come back and I want to listen to your stories of each and every one of your journey, what happened, what went on, what challenges you faced, and what learnings you had. Looking forward to coming back and being with this community again. Over to you, Amit.
Thank you, Vaishali. So folks, I'll just wrap up. So just a few reminders so that you understand the importance of this. Digital skills are important for India. A $1 trillion digital economy will require 9x the number of workers by 2025. There are 5 skills that you should consider: cloud architecting design, software operations support, cyber security, big data, web and application development. So those are the 5 digital skills. We'll be required to have 7 digital skills by the time we get to 2025. So there's a sense of urgency that you should look at, skilling yourself or reskilling yourself up. SheDares is an initiative to increase the participation of the women workforce in tech. 1.6 million workers today, but there's great opportunity within the 1.6 to skill up, and then obviously extending the 1.6. We talked about 39%, clearly the opportunity to grow that further. Ideal case, could be 100%, but you strive for the 50%. So my request is attend, and for those of you who want to get started now, please go through the process that has just been called out, and please give us your names for who are ready. For those who are ready for the vouchers, please go ahead and give us your names. I really look forward to working with you as we stay tuned for Jan. This is an opportunity for you to connect to jobs. We are serious. It's the entire journey, life cycle journey of training you, skilling you. In Jan, we'll be actually talking about a 12 weeks intense program. It's it's actually a 9 to 5 program, which runs for 12 weeks, teaches you IT fundamentals, teaches you fundamentals in the cloud, and enables you with soft skills. Those are for early careers. Limited seats only for those who are willing to take a job right at the end of 12 weeks. So stay tuned for that. So thank you for your time today. Thank you, Aspire for Her. Thank you, the Dream Collective team. And thank you, Mahima and Vishali, for being a great host. And thank you, Ruchika and Madhura. Chandra,
Thanks, Amit.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
So before we all log off, and it's my request to the audience over here, thank you for being so patient with us. We are here to actually measure impact. The impact is also about getting more women into the workforce, and that to check tech jobs. But we have 3 polls which we are going to run. If you can answer these polls, it takes barely 3 seconds. And we would then like to show some of the success story videos that have already taken place. And I'm sure this is going to be a great motivation for most of you who have still not thought of starting, and they can start right away. Thank you everyone for taking your time off, being here. Our leaders from AWS, we have Madhura from AFH, who's always very motivational, and of course TDC. In spite of being at the time difference, they have been here with us in person, and happy to share their journey here. So I think we are done with the polls, and we will have some videos over here. There is still some poor response. I'm sure we can have more people putting in their answers over here. You never know what answer of yours is actually going to give you a goodie. So please make sure that none of you feel shy, and feel very happy and motivated to give your answers.
I have to tell everyone in the community that Ruchita has worked very hard to make sure the goodies come through. So if she's asking you to put in the poll, please put in the poll. It's very important. She tirelessly works for the community members and pushes us to do our best. Thank you, Ruchita. I must acknowledge that. Thank you.
No, it's a moment of pride for us all at Aspire for Her, and this is from the entire team. It's not just from me; it's from our entire team. You don't know how excited we have been to get up and work hard for this day. I'm just sharing it here, but we've had daily pajama parties, so you can imagine we all sit together, and that's the way we pulled this event through. Whether it is getting awesome. The registrations, whether it's the Q&A, whether it's putting a webinar flow together, everything has been here.
Awesome.
It's right,
that's
my
really
team,
awesome.
And I'm speaking from all of them. We all do everything together.
Thank you.
And I think we can have the motivational video to end this note. And from next time, we are very happy to see more of success stories coming out from this community right here in India. And let's take it globally out. We can't hear Isha.
To transition myself into the tech sphere. Since completing the SheDares program, I felt more inspired and motivated than ever to transition myself into the tech sphere. hearing real stories from other women who have pivoted themselves into this industry from non-technical backgrounds really gave me the confidence to market myself in a unique way. The SheDares program really allowed me to identify those transferable skills to allow me to successfully transition into this space, and successfully landed a role within the Department of Health in their IT division as a project officer. So in just a short amount of time, I was able to pivot myself quite quickly and quite smoothly, and it's really thanks to the SheDares program, which has been a game changer. So I would like to say thank you to the Dream Collective for creating an amazing program, and I cannot wait to see what the future will hold for me in my new career in IT.
I was told I could try IT, but wasn't quite sure where to start. I was lucky to learn about SheDares and SheBuilds programs, which helped me to kickstart this whole thing. SheDares was an eye-opener. I mean, we all know that IT is still a boys' club to some extent, but Sarah's figures were just massive. I've got 2 daughters and I'm not in position to stand aside. It's my personal call to make difference. When I discovered SheDares, I sat at my laptop for a few hours straight, watching women from both tech and non-tech background busting myths around IT. I enjoyed fireside chats a lot, where I was able to hear the voices and listen to real life stories, which were inspiring and encouraging. For the first time in my life, I thought, oh, I actually might try and become a part of it someday. By that time, I was already registered to SheBuilds Cloud Up program and was totally ready to smash it. So I did, and I got certified as a cloud practitioner.
I'm Tamron Todd, and I'm a recent participant of the SheDares program. The thought of entering into the tech space 6 months ago seemed incredibly impossible for me, just something that was out of my reach. I've always been far too intimidated by tech. As a project manager, I've dabbled in what I would consider to be the fringes of technology with many of the projects that I've been involved in both the media and educational sectors. Technology has always fascinated me, but it's never anything I've dared to actually get involved in. I've always held some self-limiting beliefs along the lines of, I'm just not technical. I don't have a technical degree. What could I possibly contribute to technology? Am I too old to even consider a move into tech? And then I think fate really did step in. I came across the SheDares program while New Zealand was in the midst of its longest ever lockdown. And to say that it was exactly what I needed would truly be an understatement. Through the program, I learned to actually face many of my excuses head on and to realize that I actually have more to offer than what I've truly given myself credit for. I've learned through the program that while I don't have all of the skills or the knowledge yet, it truly is a yet, thanks to Sarah and the team at SheDares. Through SheDares, I've also connected with AWS SheBuilds, and as of today, I'm extremely proud to share with you all that I have completed my certification for the Cloud Practitioner program, and I'm currently studying towards my certification in Solution Architecture Associate through SheBuilds and AWS. The fact that I'm uttering the words solution architecture just completely blows my mind, and it's truly all down to the SheDares program. I cannot thank you all enough for putting the program together and for helping change lives and perceptions and empowering women to realize that we can get involved and that we can take a seat at the table.
Fantastic, Sarah. Thank you for sharing this with us. It's so awesome.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, everyone. And we look forward on everybody signing up for the SheDares community. And thank you once again. Until next time, it's great learning, and let's meet again. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.